What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ring the Bell post-game show. That was not the best day at the office, as they say. The Philadelphia Phillies dropped the season opener, home opener, to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 9-3. And John is here with me. It was I had awful deja vu of games of 6 and 7 in the NLCS in this
I
game.
I actually relived 2022 opening day. Was it 21 where Aaron Nola pitched absolutely phenomenal through like 6 innings. I think they sent him out there for the seventh against the Braves and Pablo Sandoval. It's like a 3-run home run to take the lead or something
I
like
think that
that.
was
Like
what, 22?
22 or 21, one or
It
the
was
other.
one of
I'm not
those two.
exactly sure. It
But
might have been
you're
21 because that was the year they probably
it's
traded Sandoval. No, 22 because they traded no, it was
right.
21 because they traded Sandoval
21.
for
Yep.
Eddie Rosario. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
what kind of felt like where Wheeler just dealt and like they didn't win.
Yeah, I mean, man, this is almost like, and we say this sometimes with the Phillies, like the tale of two games. Zach Wheeler, man, was cruising through this game. He ended 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, and then the wheels completely came off for the, often said, touted best base bullpen in major leagues.
Which I've been saying all along, like all off season, that it's not that great of a bullpen. It just they've had great years, but they're not consistently guys who you just throw out there that that you have your back. Like Alvarado's been hit or miss. He just had a great 2 years, but like he's back to what he's been pretty much. I mean, they threw Brogdon out there. He stinks.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know how much longer, and I would say this before the game if it was asking me about, Brogdon. The dude's been horrible for 4 years. How does he keep continuing getting opportunities to pitch in the major leagues, especially for a good team like the Phillies? I don't understand how Connor Brogdon
they don't have
continues to
anybody
get paid.
else. They don't
Well,
have
then
anybody else.
that's Dombrowski's problem.
I mean,
He's got, he's got
Kirkland
to do
was gonna be the
something.
guy. Was like gonna be the guy. So we never thought about that. But like, they don't have anybody after like really
Yeah. Well,
And
one
Alvarado
Hoffman
and
should have
Sir.
came in the seventh to begin
Yeah, that was
everything.
poor management when I said,
That
"Why is he
was
the third worst manager in baseball?" Exhibit A, when we started with Game 1 of the season, and I'll continually remind everybody throughout the season why he's the third worst manager in
Yeah, I
baseball.
mean that's like a Girardi move. That was a Girardi special. You coming into that inning, and I said to myself, well, if they're gonna cap Wheeler at 6 innings, which they did, at 89 pitches, then you got to bring Hoffman in. Where the Braves were in the lineup, you got to bring Hoffman in here to start off the 7th inning, and then Stram can come in after him. Boy, it went the complete opposite way, and then just put a quarter in the merry-go-round, and then the nightmare just kept going. 2 innings, 7 hits, 9 runs. I'm gonna do my best this year to not say the F word one time, so I'm not gonna do it here. I bleeping hate walks. I hate when you have a pitcher who has one job to do to either get 1 out, 2 outs, an inning. Stop walking people. 5 walks in 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. I've said this 100 times, John, and you probably feel the same way being a baseball player. I rather that team tattoo the baseball than walk them. I do not want to put base runners on base to get free gifts here, especially the Atlanta Braves, especially because
You
when
let
you
those
walk
guys who had 3 guys in their top 4 have 100 RBIs last
exact,
year. I
yeah,
mean, and then
for the
that's what
five,
happened.
for the
What was it?
five,
What was it? 3-2 bases loaded when
yep,
Acuna came up, and what did he do? Gets a single, and then what happens? I don't know what Albies did. I forget what he did there, but then I think what's his name hits another double. Shocker that Olsen hits 3 doubles today. He's just a
right,
double machine. But
mm-hmm.
it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't walk guys. I mean, Alvarado went back to the guy he was when
Oh
he
my
got sent down.
gosh,
That's exactly who he was. Like you cannot rely on him, and that's exactly what happened. Hoffman did what he did. Did what he did. He got him out of it, but he should have been there from the begin with, and it's probably a completely different ball game.
agreed.
It was just absolutely, it was just ridiculous seeing like what the bullpen did for people who are saying they're the best bullpen in baseball. It's an absolute joke because they don't have a legit. Everybody in that bullpen is an inconsistent player throughout their career.
Correct.
And they've never been a guy who's been a shutdown for like 3-4 consecutive seasons where you're like, they have one off season. You're like Hader a few years ago. He had a really bad season last year in Milwaukee and with the Padres his first year. But then he came back and he was the same guy he's always been. So the Phillies don't have that guy, which why didn't the Phillies go after somebody this offseason? Because there was clearly guys out there who were pretty good. And everybody's like, oh, Craig Kimbrell, he stinks. Craig Kimbrell was a pretty darn good pitcher last year in April and May.
Yeah, I mean, he was. And look, this is going to be a problem. I mean, if it's going to get to a point, and it's going to be hard once you get past Aaron Nola, because how Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, those are historically guys that can barely get you out of the fifth inning. So this is going to be a bullpen that's going to be relied heavily upon.
Which they were last year, and which is why they fell apart in the playoffs, because they were used so much during the regular season. You can't have that all the time. If you're there for your third, your fourth or fifth guy, maybe they have to use your bullpen a little more. But I mean, your top three guys have to be able to go 6 innings in this league almost every single game.
I agree. And it just was a complete meltdown. And I'm gonna keep harping on it, and no pun intended to Bryce Harper, but I'm gonna harp on the topic that I'm tired of the walks. It was prevalent last year with the bullpen, and already it's prevalent again in game 1 of the season. Their starter, the Philly starter, ladies and gentlemen, had 0 walks in 6 innings.
4 hits, believe too.
5.
5 hits.
5 hits, no runs, no walks.
On a day he should have won. I mean,
exactly. And then it just came apart, and it's the walks that could, because when you play a team, if this was against the Rockies, I probably wouldn't have. The Phillies probably still would have won the game because I'm not worried about anything like that. But when you play a team like the Braves, when you walk a guy, chances are the next guy that's coming up is just as good, or can be just as productive.
And almost every single player in that lineup can hit a home run. I mean,
absolutely,
every single guy. I mean,
right?
They had 10 guys last year? 10 guys with 15 plus home runs or something like that. Something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why they set their record for home runs. It's like they can just flat out hit a baseball. And it all starts and it goes back. And don't worry, everyone, we're gonna get to the offense because that was embarrassing too. We'll get to that. This again, and John, I hate saying you're right with certain things, but this is a topper game. This is a topper loss. I understand. And look, I was going back and forth with a good friend of the show and good friend of mine, Kevin Cooney, where he's like, if the Phillies lose this game, it's going to be on the hands of the offense. And I'm thinking, I understand you don't put up more than 2 runs, and we'll get into that. But you go into the 7th inning with a 2-0 lead. Nope, no walks. There was only a couple hits. They were striking. The Braves lineup was striking out, and then a poor pitching decision on Topper to have Stram go in first, or Strom go first, and then Hoffman. That decided the game, because that's not Strom's role. That's not what he's done for his career.
Or what he did for the Phillies last year.
Certain
situations when they needed him, when their bullpen was a little tired, he got those situations. But this is game 1. I mean, are you
game 1?
It's Hoffman, Jose, and Sir. I don't care what order it is, but it's one of those 3 or your 7th, 8th inning 9 guys. Obviously, because they don't have a distinct closer yet. But that's who you throw there. I don't know why trying to save the bullpen for later in the series. Why not go get the first game of the season? You need to worry about it later on. Maybe Nola throws a perfect game tomorrow and pitches absolutely out of his mind, and then you don't have the day of rest for the bullpen. It's real. Or the Phillies score 10 runs tomorrow. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. And 3 guys in the Braves lineup today had 3 or more hits. Matt Olson went 3 for 5. Michael Harris 3 for 5, and Orlando Arcia went 3 for 5. Acuna went 2 for 4. Alti Albies and Austin Riley really didn't do much. They went 0 for 4, but they each of them walked. Ozuna went 0 for 5. Sean Murphy, who left the game with an oblique injury, he went 0 for 3. And then Kelenic, he sucks anyway. He went 1 for 2. But Adam Duvall comes in, who just got to the team. It feels like 48 hours ago.
What was I saying all year? I wasn't saying Duvall per se. I might have said him, but his name was still out of free agent.
Oh, you brought up Duvall. Yeah.
They needed a guy like that off the bench. Like for situations like that, they bring in Duvall and he pretty much sparked a rally for them. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's you need a guy like that on this team.
I agree.
They still don't have it.
No. So
Merrifield's a good player, but he's not Duvall.
yeah, today was a really tough one to watch after that sixth inning because it just felt like with the Phillies, and this is why Jason and I, and then when John came on board last season, this is one of the reasons why we laugh every time we hear people say it's the best bullpen in baseball, because we watch 162 games. I knew once Strom got a little bit into trouble, I knew in my head, like, it's about to blow up. It's going to blow. You can see it coming when they can't throw strikes, and when the ball, when the team they're going up against is getting, even foul balls are being hit hard. Kelnick hit a ball 800 feet foul, and I thought, oh, dear God. So you can see the wheels starting to come off. You can see things that are going to go the opposite direction. And when Strom came in the seventh, I almost lost my mind because I thought this is Topper overthinking himself for no reason at all.
It's him planning for the rest of the. He thinks that they have this game won, and he's planning for the next game. That's what it was, and they did it.
And that's a problem. You're more than half your lineup's not hitting the baseball, and you're playing for a win in the seventh inning. You think the game's already over. No, that was a Hoffman situation. I won't be able to see the post game quotes until probably we get off the air here. I'm interested in seeing if anybody brings that up. I doubt it, but I'm sure
too scared that won't be allowed in the locker room or something.
Exactly. The main topic is probably going to be why the offense didn't hit, which we'll get to when the bullpen as a whole doing this. I don't know who this is. Leaf Yapel. Man, the Phillies always stink. Yeah, they really suck. So let's turn our attention over to the offense. Again, the Phillies lose 9-3 in opening day and what looked like a playoff crowd, man. And like it was so loud. And then you heard how loud the stadium was with the Brandon Marsh home run. I was so confident after that because it's always great to see Spencer Strider get rocked because the dude just loses it. He threw, I think, like 34 pitches in that inning. So, the Phillies finally got to him, which was great. But look, the top four hitters in this lineup went 0 for 14. The lineup overall struck out 15 times. That's awful. The only like bright spot of those top five was it's a Braves guy. Of course, that's why he's doing it. Yeah, send me a postcard after you probably lose a division series again, clown. So then you have Harper and Real Muto who had both got on base. They walked. Other than that, John, dude, it was so.
Yeah, Remuto sucked.
Yeah,
he sucked today. So he sucked. He rolled over a ground ball to third base and struck out twice. He still sucked. He should not be the 4-hole hitter. I don't know why he's the 4. Put Bohm in the spot. Bohm is probably one of the best pure hitters on that team. Why is he not 4? It makes no sense.
2 for 4. A nice 2 for 4 day. Let me just kind of go through this lineup real quick, as I like to do after games. This is gonna, of course, be great for everyone. Schwarber 0 for 4. Trey Turner, who looked awful today. I mean, he was having Nick Castellanos type swings for the most part of today. 0 for 4. Harper again 0 for 3 with a walk. Real Muto 0 for 3 with a walk. Bohm 2 for 4. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Bryson Stott had a couple really poor at bats as well. Casty had that RBI single in the 9th. But other than that, he still looked like Nick Castellanos today. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4 had that big bomber in the the 6th inning. The 2-run home run. Rojas 1 for 2, 0 for 2 with a walk, but had a good stolen base as well. He looked comfortable, which was great.
And he hit the ball on the ground.
He put the ball on the ground. Yeah,
that's all I can ask for. Roman Quinn would have hit 3 pop-ups. Or struck out every single time. So
we got lucky with some BS playoff rules with you.
Well, they're here to stay.
I mean, even with the BS playoff rules, you still lost. So, I mean, the fact of the matter remains there. And by the way, they won 90 games last year. So, man, you're You're batting 0 today. Nice work. So John, it's game 1. I get it. By the way, I'm messing around with this guy, Leaf Yapel. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but thank you for watching. I really do. Regardless if you hate us or like us, I appreciate you tuning in here. John, I mean, it's game 1, so I'm not gonna sit here and get too upset. I
No,
mean, in the moment it sucks because they were awful.
I feel bad for Wheeler. I'm mad because Wheeler pitched so spectacular that they should have won this game, and they did. That's more where my anger comes from. It's game 1. I mean, typically the Phillies suck in April and May, so I mean, it might just be one of those things again where they just don't get hot till June like they've been. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. Hopefully, they come back tomorrow with the spark under their asses and they come back and win the game soundly with Nola pitching. I predicted from the beginning that the Phillies were going to lose the series 2-1. So I mean, we're still on track for that.
We're still on track for losing the series.
But prove me wrong. Come on. These guys, you wanted to play these guys in the playoffs. It seemed like this was your World Series in the playoffs last year, and now it seems back to the regular season where we're playing the Braves. We'll just wait for it. We get them in the playoffs again. We'll kick their ass in the playoffs. That's what it seems like. But no, I'm sure the Braves don't want to lose to you again. I'm sure the Braves have a fire in their ass. Like they came out late in the game saying they're like, we're going to win this game. I mean, it's ridiculous. Schwarber swings at the first pitch of the game. Are you kidding me? Like, you're a leadoff hitter. You're going to swing at the first pitch with Strider. You want to get him throwing as many pitches as you can possible to get him out early, which they didn't do. Turner, he sucked today. I mean, booted the ball again. I mean, luckily
just a bad error again.
Luckily that didn't cost him. Harper, he struggled a little bit today, but got to walk out on base. I mean, what can you do? The guy really struggled all was hurt and struggled all of spring, so it might take a little bit for him to get going. JT struck out twice. Absolute joke. I mean, why is he your 4-hole hitter? He's proved he can't really hit in the 4-hole besides a little bit sometimes
when he's proven to be a really good 6-hole hitter.
He's been he hits like 280 in the 6-hole. So
again, it's
when he played for the Marlins, where did he battle the Marlins when he was hitting 300?
Yeah, so it keeps going back to your topper arguments, and I can't get into that.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna.
But you are right. It's just another case of why mess with stuff that was working so well.
That's what I'm getting. You didn't want to hit JT at all at 4 in the postseason, but opening day you want to bat him 4. Obviously, like the Schwarber thing, I hate that he's leadoff, but obviously he says they win with him there, so he's going to stay there until proven otherwise. He's really going to stay there unless he's playing absolutely horrendously. He's going to stay there. We have to deal with it. But I mean, JT, Bohm was pretty much the 4 hitter the entire season last year.
Yep.
Why is he not there again?
No, I agree. I agree completely. It was just really, really difficult to see how this offense, and it doesn't necessarily bother me sometimes when the top of the order like that can struggle. But man, game 1 of the season against the Braves, and you're picking up right where you left off last season. It's a really bitter pill to swallow. And it's really hard to hear when people say, well, it's game 1, get over it. Like, man, not when you lose, when you lose the way that you did last season, at the end of last season, you come right into this season and the top half of your lineup goes 0 for 14.
Against the team that's won the division for the past, 5 years?
6 years? 6 years now. Yeah.
6 years, exactly. And you come out like
this. It's just difficult, man.
When Topper comes out and says, no, we want that division, prove it, because you got dominated last year by the Braves and you got dominated again today, ultimately, by the Braves.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So there was no, player of the game here. The Phillies just, if you were going to pick one, it would be Zach Wheeler, obviously, but I'm not going to give out any players of the game. Who was the weasel of the day? I think you got to go bullpen, right?
Yeah, they sucked. Alvarado. Alvarado was, god awful. At least if, Strom didn't do it, but Hoffman came there and shut him down. If Alvarado comes there and pitches, well, you're still in this game. It's still, 3-2?
Yeah.
At this point, or is it 2-2 still at this point?
It was 2-2.
It was, you're still in this game. And you still can win this game. So obviously, I would give it to Alvarado before I give it to anybody. But the one thing I did like about today, the young guys continued where they left off last season. They did it. They pretty much carried the team most of the year last year, and they pretty much carried the team offensively today. So it's a guy you guys are paying $900 million. You got to worry about that. That's the issue. Those guys are paying ridiculous amounts of money. That's who needs to step up, and they
Mhm.
consistently don't do it for some reason.
Yeah, it's awful, and it's always with, and I feel like it's always with the Phillies, and I could be wrong, but it's always that one inning where everything implodes. Strom comes in, allows a single and two doubles to three of the first four hitters he faces. Hoffman enters with the traffic on the bait on bases, but he puts out the fire. It should have been that way in the beginning, regardless. The eighth inning is where it all just completely came apart. Alvarado just had nothing today. He had nothing. He allowed an RBI single, picked up a second out, was nearly out of the inning with just that one run deficit. Then he walked Adam Duvall, who was the pinch hitter, loads the bases. Ronald Acuna comes up, gets a single. Alvarado comes out. So let's go to the great one himself, the final boss, Connor Brogdon, who promptly does us all well and throws a wild pitch.
First pitch, right? Was it first pitch?
Yeah, first pitch. I'm pretty sure it was either the first or
I
second
thought it was
pitch.
the first. Yeah, unbelievable.
Brogdon was one of the final relievers to make the team.
Like there's nobody. There's seriously no one else.
I know.
I mean, you signed Rucker. You signed Al. I mean, even if you don't want to use Strom in a long reliever role, you can use what is it, Albert, whatever, or whatever his name is. You signed him. He can be that guy. Rucker, they signed a couple other guys to minor league. There's nobody else. You have to go to you have to call up Brogdon.
Yeah.
Marte can't pitch. Ortiz, who both of them pitch tremendously in spring training, they can't pitch. Like this, I don't know, because when you brought in Brogdon, you weren't completely out of the game yet. It was what 4-2.
Yeah,
it wasn't over yet.
Right. So
you kind of gave up at that point, bringing him in.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push the panic button at all when it comes like Jose Alvarado, because he could come out tomorrow or Sunday and just blow the lights off the place, which is great. But that's the guy where we can't have that snowball effect with him. 2022 and 2023, I forget what the stat was I sent you guys. That I think
first time he gave up multi-earned runs since July 22nd, 2022.
That's it. Yeah. From Destiny Legardo, the first time Jose Alvarado has been charged with multiple earned runs in an outing since July of 2022 in the regular season. So this is a big money pitcher over the last 2 years. We can't have.
He's been spectacular.
He's been amazing. Yeah. So he's got to get around the plate. He's got to control himself. That's a guy that we just can't. We can't lose control of here. Alvarado's a mega piece to that bullpen, that back end of the bullpen there. So he's going to be relied heavily upon, especially with no legitimate closer like the Phillies had last season in Kimbrel. Alvarado's more often than not going to be that guy. So, look, Phillies lose 9-3. Nothing else for us to talk about. They're right back on the saddle again tomorrow, I believe at 4:00. What is it? Nola versus Fried, correct?
Which terrifies me with the lefties in this lineup.
The lefties, yep. And don't worry, the lineup won't change either.
Who don't have great success against. But apparently Marsh was always playing if there's a righty or lefty playing in the lineup. So that's what Topper said. So we'll see if that's the case tomorrow. But I don't know.
Yep. Marsh starts off his season with a huge 2-run home run to center field. And I thought that was going to spark a win there, but then a harsh reality kind of.
Yeah, Rojas gets on at the bottom of the lineup, likes to do, steals a base. Schwarber strikes out, and what's his name, grounds out or strikes out, whatever he did. He stinks.
The pain in John's voice whenever he has to say the name Kyle Schwarber.
Well, that sucks. Yeah, but my problem is just like whenever, but the Turner thing really pisses me the fuck off. That's
yes.
I mean, because I listen, Turner's going to bounce back. Turner's going to bounce back. What if he doesn't? What if he does not bounce back?
If he doesn't, they're in deep trouble.
Albert Pujols was a 300 hitter, MVP level player. He signed with the Angels. He was never the same player again. What if that's Turner? I mean, he is 31, turning 31 this year. So what if he's that guy? I don't want to hear that. What if he bounces back? That's how they're going to be so good. He's going to bounce back. Well, you don't know that.
You don't. And that we have 161 more games to find out how that's going to turn out. So, we'll be back here Sunday night to wrap up the opening series, but Sunday night's always our normal show regardless. So yeah, we'll be back here Sunday night. We hope to talk about a series win, or if what John said comes true and it's just not a good opening weekend. But look, there's still hope for the rest. I'm just gonna say the rest of the month because we're about to be into April anyway.
They have a bad schedule. I mean, an easy
A
schedule.
great schedule. Yeah.
like,
After the Braves.
If they struggle in April, I'm gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be devastating.
It's gonna be really tough the rest of the year. So just let everybody know before we hop out of here. The rest of April looks like this: the Reds, the Nationals, the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Rockies, White Sox, Reds again, San Diego Padres, and then they close it out against the Angels. So look, if you could take 2 out of 3 here, if you can take the next 2 games against the Braves, man, like the rest of the month shapes up really well to actually have a really successful April. And that would be
the Red
ideal.
Series scares me because their pitching isn't great, and the Phillies, hopefully they about to turn around. Because the Phillies are struggling hitting, that's going to be a problem because the Reds can hit. The pitching's not great, but they can hit.
Well, let's hope for better times tomorrow afternoon in Citizens Bank Park. Hopefully, with Aaron Nola on the bump, that we get another 6 or 7 innings. That would be tremendous. Amazing. So, all right. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on when we're going to go live or when anything else pops up on our channel. At Ring the Bell 856 and all the socials. Head over to SeatGeek.com right now. If you're looking for tickets to go to the rest of the weekend at Citizens Bank Park or beyond, use our code ONTHEBUMP for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. I'm Chris E. Francesco. That's Johnny M. We'll be back Sunday night, hoping for the best here. But as always, go Phils, everyone.